Biography and Comprehensive History of Benito Mussolini. Early Life and Rise to Power. Benito Amilcare Andrea Mussolini was born on July 29, 1883, in Predappio, a small town in northeastern Italy. He was the son of Alessandro Mussolini, a blacksmith and socialist, and Rosa Maltoni, a devoutly Catholic schoolteacher. Mussolini's upbringing was marked by a combination of leftist political influence from his father and religious influence from his mother, which would shape his complex political ideology later in life. Mussolini began his political career as a socialist, becoming involved in various socialist movements and publications in Italy. He was an avid anti-war activist during World War I, but his views began to shift towards nationalism and militarism as the war progressed. In 1919, he founded the Fasci Italiani di Combattimento, a nationalist and anti-communist political movement which would evolve into the National Fascist Party Partito Nazionale Fascista, PNF, in 1921. Rise to dictatorship. By the early 1920s, Mussolini's influence grew rapidly amidst social and economic turmoil in Italy. Exploiting fears of communist revolution and promising to restore order, Mussolini and his Black Shirts fascist paramilitary groups engaged in violent confrontations with leftist groups. In October 1922, Mussolini led the March on Rome, demanding King Victor Emmanuel III to appoint him as prime minister. The king, fearing civil war, appointed Mussolini as prime minister, effectively handing over power to the fascists. Consolidation of power and rule. Mussolini's rule as prime minister marked the beginning of his dictatorship. Over the next few years, he systematically dismantled democratic institutions, suppressed political opposition through censorship, violence, and propaganda, and centralized power under his authority. His regime established a cult of personality around him, portraying him as the embodiment of the Italian nation and its resurgence after World War I. Mussolini enacted policies to modernize Italy's economy and infrastructure, but his regime was characterized by heavy-handed control, repression, and brutal suppression of dissent. His alliance with Nazi Germany in the 1930s further isolated Italy internationally and led to Italy's entry into World War II in 1940. Downfall and death. Mussolini's military ambitions faltered as Italy suffered significant defeats in North Africa and on the Eastern Front. By 1943, facing internal dissent and military failures, Mussolini was dismissed as prime minister and arrested. However, he was later rescued by German forces and installed as the leader of the Italian Social Republic, a Nazi puppet state in northern Italy. As the Allies advanced into Italy in 1945, Mussolini attempted to flee to Switzerland but was captured by Italian partisans. On April 28, 1945, he and his mistress, Clara Petacci, were executed by partisans near Lake Como. Their bodies were publicly displayed in Milan, marking the end of Mussolini's regime and his life. Legacy. Benito Mussolini's legacy remains highly controversial. He is remembered as one of the key figures in the rise of fascism in Europe and for his authoritarian regime in Italy. His policies left a lasting impact on Italian politics and society, influencing later political movements and ideologies worldwide. Mussolini's name continues to evoke strong emotions and debates regarding the nature of dictatorship, nationalism, and the abuse of power. In conclusion, Mussolini's life and career illustrate the dangers of totalitarianism and the complexities of political ideology in the 20th century, leaving a significant mark on both Italian history and the broader history of Europe.